this short, but obviously it's one that's causing a bit of drama across Anfield Index, and everyone's got an opinion. Ryan Gravenberch. Now, people have used the analogy, obviously, like flogging the dead horse, I heard the other night, and he has played a lot of minutes. There's zero debate about Gravenberch. People are starting to say, because he's tired, his impact is going. The Raw boys, so Trev and Dave, I've shouted out to them. They had a big discussion on him the other night as well. People had their thoughts on that. What do the stats say on the 45 for Ryan Gravenberch in this one?
I mean, considering it, okay, there's a thing called opportunity, right? If the opposition is only going to have one shot on target and about 4 shots in target, like there's minimal attacking outlet, right? And they're all going to target specific areas to attack, not the center of the pitch. It's quite difficult to put in a performance, yeah, if you're in controlling the area of the pitch. So that's just one caveat I'm just going to lay there, all right? Yep. It's like you can't. People used to put when we were doing the pressing quite a lot in UP, the pressing, and some games used to come out low where we had a great game. But it's because it's opportunity. If you've got 70% position, the opportunity for you to have a good pressing game is pretty minuscule. Yeah, you're talking about 30% of game ball time. So some of the stuff about Grav will be about opportunity to actually do the defensive side of it.
Yeah.
Having said that, he didn't compete for any aerials. He lost both ground duels he went for, right? His carries, which is generally a strong point of his, only 29% in the final third, 14% of the progressive. These are low. These are not great figures for him, right? He's normally, when he makes a carry, he does do 20 yards close to the goal. That's generally what he does. So for him to only get 14 is not great. Carries is a low down. If you look at where he's picking his touches up, 72%, 24% at the final third, and only 4 in the defensive third. As I showed you on the pass map, for me, that needs to be round the other way, because as much as his opportunity, he still has a job to do. He's still there as our sixth, right? Where he was, I would expect, Dom, somebody else to be in that position, really. So, those things concern me. I mean, and then we look at on ball, 3% of our threat from him, which is a 6. He's not going to correct a lot. Receiving, this is a stat that needs to be a lot higher than 73%, considering the majority of his possession comes from Verge or Konza or the goalkeeper, right?
Yeah.
It's normally unopposed. So for him to only get 73% success is a little bit concerning. 89% pass rate, yeah, okay, fair enough. It's one of the highest in the game. But what did he do with that ball? He made final third passes, so he made 5 passes to the final third, only 1 progressive, and only 1 long ball. Now, that's not really his game, if you like. He only keeps it ticking over. But he only attempted 19 passes. Considering he's the fulcrum, if you like. Even if it's just a short ball to another fullback or firing it into the front, you'd expect that number to be higher. I mean, if we look at the last game, let me just have a quick look for comparison. We played in Blackburn. Crap, there we go. So you make 41 passes in 45 passes in Brentford. So yeah, it's a little bit down, if I'm being honest with you. I think probably the notable element, it doesn't help when Endo comes on, right? And has the same number of passes, same number of successes. Where did Endo occupy himself? Endo occupied himself in the middle third mainly, so less in the forward area. Endo actually attends his St. Jules. You think from the narrative that he won everything, he only won 29% and didn't create any errors. So I think there's a little bit of, Endo did this, Grav didn't, and there's a little bit of that in there. But yeah, I'm not saying it's the best of Grav's performance. I think his positioning might have been slightly out, but I think we've been saying that on UP and a few others, the positional element of being a 6 has started to wane a little bit. What's more of a concern is some of his on-ball metrics here are not as good as previous games. So yeah, the numbers are ticking up in terms of minutes. We're getting in nearly into 10, or 13 games to go, something like that. It's getting into territory towards that last third of the season, if not less. You would hope they have some sort of plan to start using Endo more in meaningful minutes. I think it's one of the first games Endo's come on in 6, and the game hasn't been won, which is quite a sign from Slot. So if he starts trusting people like Elliott, people like Endo to come on and take minutes off the starting 3, and that's a good place to be. It's just unfortunate it might have taken it to get to this point where players have started to come off the high form for him to start doing that. But as long as he's learning, that's all it is. So yeah, I would say Grab, not his best game, probably. But then there's some of that, it might be getting to opportunity. But I do think his positioning was a little bit high.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'll be honest, when I watched the game and then I saw it afterwards, people going sort of, for various things about Gravenberch, my honest take was I didn't really notice him that much. It was just kind of one of those meh performances, like not brilliant, not terrible. Yeah. But it's interesting, I say, it's become a focus. And I agree, the minutes have ticked up. I think it's fair to say on the recent pods we've talked about, and you've referenced the UP one, we are seeing a slight tick down in certain metrics and certain things. And also, it's fair to say, as you sort of highlighted clearly there, his position did seem high a few times, as in it's difficult for them, VVD or whoever, to punch that ball, as we've said before, through to him, isn't it, in that regard? So the opportunity, the style, probably do, to be fair to the rollout, it does back up an overall picture with the data there, doesn't it, of what they said?
Yeah, 100%, because if you look at our action zones on the ball, Grab is higher up. He's in the 10 position, where ideally you want him here. You want him in this box here, so that he can get an easy ball from the centre halves. And he's also not blocking a ball from our 2 centre halves into the front players. So VVD is very good at punching that straight in there, so Gerard, or doing a switch off into these areas. So Grab is almost in an area of blocking that, because he's going to bring a player in, which means the passing lane to the front isn't there. Yeah, because it's closed up. So yeah, I wouldn't say, I don't know, I haven't listened to Raw, but yeah, the data in the areas that he's playing in does suggest that his positioning in this game wasn't up to his normal standards.
Interesting. And like Bart said, will Endo get more opportunities? We don't know.